The graduation address gives us the opportunity to hear from a distinguished member of our alumni community. And we're delighted today to have the address being delivered by Ms. Christelle Young. Ms. Young is the Chief Strategy and Analytics Officer at L'Oreal, Australia and New Zealand. She's an experienced analytics executive with extensive experience in both industry and consulting, creating and developing world-class teams to add value through analytics. She's had more than 7 years of experience in industry before moving into management consulting within the data analytics specialist team at Kearney. For 2 consecutive years, she co-led the Global Analytics Impact Index with Kearney and the Melbourne Business School, which is now widely adopted globally. She has consulted with numerous national and global corporations across a variety of industries, implementing analytic solutions to create further value. It gives me great pleasure in inviting Ms. Christelle Young to deliver the graduation address. Thank you.
Deputy Chancellor, the Honourable Simon Green, Provost and Senior Vice President, Professor Susan Elliott, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the new graduates. Congratulations. What an amazing achievement in an extraordinary time. I looked at you all throughout today's ceremony and feel very moved by what you've all achieved and very proud to be part of this alumni community. My biggest regret when I look back now, when I was in your shoes and graduated, was I ticked that absentee box that kept getting called out. I didn't celebrate my graduation like you all are here. Truth is, I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. I felt a little bit lost when I graduated. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I finished school. I started out with a Bachelor of Arts at Melbourne University for 1 year. Then I transferred to a Bachelor of Behavioural Neuroscience for 3 years. And then finally transferred into the Bachelor of Information Technology here at Melbourne, Monash University, And then finally a Master's in Business Analytics. So many people around me knew exactly what they wanted to do. They knew where they wanted to go. I felt a little bit embarrassed that I'd taken so long to sort myself out and finally graduate. I felt lost. I asked you all, when was the last time you guys felt lost or blind? And what are you going to do today to set yourself up for success tomorrow? How do you figure out where to run to next, or how to get there? Your journey of 1,000 miles starts with just a single step. By the time we finish here today, you will be running out of here with gusto, authentically you and owning every step you make, on a journey to become the most successful version of you. When you're in high school, you think it's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Well, I did. When I was at university, I thought it was the hardest thing I'll ever do. But it was life after uni that was actually quite tricky. Why? It's because you have to start making decisions for yourself. You spend the first 12 to 13 years at school and never needing to make any major life decisions until you finish school, and then you've got this first major life choice of what do I do next, what to study. You might figure that out and then you relax for another 3 to 5 years, and then you've got to figure out what's next. What's next for you all here today? We put so much pressure on ourselves to figure out what we want to do and where we want to go. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I was running completely blind, scared to fall. But sometimes running in the dark can teach you a few things. You see, I actually really enjoy running in the dark. I often run or walk in the dark at night, sometimes by myself, sometimes with my 9-year-old daughter or 11-year-old son, or sometimes with my whole family. We walk or run down here at the Giles Park, not too far from here, where there is not a single bit of light at night. There is no lights there. You just have this heavy blanket of darkness, uninterrupted over the parklands. Occasionally you get this silver slither of shadow, depending on the moon cycle, where the occasional full moon brings some shadows in the bushes around you. I know the moon is quite heavy at the moment and a full moon in a few days. What I love most, though, about these walking in the dark is the ability for your senses to get heightened in the dark. You can't rely on your sight at all. You don't have any, you are completely blind. So you actually hear better what's around you in the bushes. You feel better, the soft breeze and the temperature drop as you walk towards the lake. You walk with a sense of lightness and agility. You are ready to pivot if the ground beneath you is unstable. On these walks, I've discovered quite a lot of things. The other day, I invited my father to join me on this night walk. When we got to the darkness of Gels Park, he got really worried. I can't see, I'm going to fall, I'm not stable. To which my daughter replied, well, Grandpa, if you're worried you will fall, just slow down. Just take one step, find stability, and then take the next step. Eventually you find adaptability and confidence to walk, and then maybe you can even run. This is where I discovered if you are blind, if you are unsure, just slow down. Take one steady step at a time. Focus on the present and executing it really well. But one step at a time to where? It's only worth taking one step if it's forward, towards a goal, a sense of purpose, or even just a sense of adventure. What gets you up in the morning? Discover your purpose is a work in progress. However, there are 3 things that will aid you on your quest. Number 1 is focus. Have you ever wanted something so bad that nothing breaks your focus? It's actually like when I bring my kids to sushi train. You would think they are starving children. The amount of focus and determination that they have when they see those trains coming around is immense. If they brought that to everything they do, they would be world class in anything, I can guarantee you. I run every single day just to maintain my focus. Focus, be present on the little things that are in front of you right here, right now, your celebration. Number 2 is commitment. Once you're focused, you feel committed. Commitment is an act, not a word. If you look at the things that you may not be doing well and contrast them with the things that you're excelling at, the difference is often commitment. Commit your entire self to everything you do. Once you're committed, you drive with excellence. Number 3, the search of excellence. Most importantly is this continual pursuit of excellence. Never stop learning. Think big. Build those castles in the clouds and then lay the foundations. In one of my first jobs, I had this major national client that I tried to solve the world problem for. I completely overpromised and completely underdelivered. I remember one day getting screamed at. I had been up all night. I was coding all night. You know what it's like sometimes when you're debugging and you're coding and you're coding and you're coding and you're up all night. And I was getting screamed at because it just wasn't working. And I even remember my nose had started bleeding. I had felt like I had fallen on a dirt path, smacked my face, and was tasting failure. I felt like I'd fallen on one of my night walks out in Gels Park because I was blind. If you are struggling, if you're about to fall, if you are lost, I remembered those night walks and thought, Christelle, just slow down. Take one step at a time and do a small thing and just do it well. To achieve excellence, just take one step before you start running. I realised that I had focus, I was committed, but creating excellence was a lot to do with my mindset. Achieving your purpose, your mindset. Now, how you take those steps, how you achieve your purpose is really important. You must have a great mindset. I'm going to discuss 3 briefly with you: a student mindset, a networking mindset, and a value-creating mindset. Let me take you back to my walks at night. You see, I often walk in the same path day or night. But I discovered something else. You walk a shorter path when you can't see the road in front of you. You see, at night, I pay no prejudice to the paved path in front of me. This is where I discovered when I can't see, I cannot discriminate, I do not get distracted. I have no assumptions of where the path is, and I walk straight off track. I cut corners towards my destination. When we come with no assumptions, we innovate. When we think freely, we innovate. Don't Google your ideas, innovate your ideas, own them. Although I must admit, I do Google Stack Overflow quite a fair bit in my line of work. Nevertheless, create your own path. Once you have a student mindset, you realize that you can convert knowledge into action, and you need to work on relationships. And this is where you need a networking mindset. All problems are relationship problems. And that's why you need to inculcate a networking mindset. Getting to know people, meeting people, understanding people, adding value to the people around you will be the richness in your life. All my opportunities have been given thanks to the amazing network I have around me. And equally, my success is dependent on my ability to understand the people in my workplace and drive them and how to inspire them. But the most important mindset is how you create value. Once you master the student mindset and the networking mindset, what's going to get you and help you excel is this value-creating mindset. What value do you add to this meeting? What value do you add here today? What value can I give to this relationship that I'm in? What value will this project bring to my organisation? These questions will fundamentally change the way you operate. What value can you bring tomorrow when you walk out of here? Once you set out on your path of discovery, you will achieve remarkable results, I have no doubt. I want to discuss with you, though, why discovering your purpose, nurturing it with the right mindset, and achieving it is so important. I have a problem at work that we're continually trying to solve. We're trying to forecast our sales during COVID. It's quite tricky. It sounds like a small problem, but its effect is so much. If I can forecast our sales of each product with more accuracy, I can budget with more accuracy. I know how many people I need with more accuracy. I can procure my stock with more accuracy. If I can procure my stock with more accuracy, I can plan my shipments better. And hence I can reduce my wastage, my freight cost, and even my CO2 emissions. Now remember my walks in the dark? Do you remember how I said when you take your sight away, all the other senses are heightened? I asked my team last week if we could come together and discuss some issues and innovation around our forecasting models. It's actually quite fun stuff. But remember my walks. If you take that sense away, the others will be heightened. So I did exactly that. I actually told my EA, look, I'm not going to this meeting, and cover for me and just take some notes. She said it was a brilliant meeting. The team were able to innovate without the bias of my opinion or what they thought I wanted to hear. If I want my team to really, really shine, I needed to turn off my own light. It's not about me, it's about them. We are on track to improve our forecast accuracy with these models, and more importantly, we are on track to reduce our CO2 emissions by 20% this year, off the back of reducing it 20% last year. This is absolutely incredible for our organisation. At L'Oreal, our founder actually said, our places is not walls and machines, it's about people, people, people. For several years, I walked from that car park outside this building and through the paveway out the front. And I'm not sure if it's still there, but some of you may have read the quote embedded in the pathway, which every day I read that Sir John Monash quote that said, equip yourself for life, not solely for your own benefit, but for the benefit of the whole community. for the benefit of your family, your parents, my children. My intelligence is a privilege. I'm so lucky to be born with the ability to solve complex maths problems. Coupled with an education, I, like all of you here, have a really rare gift. Only 30% of this planet will go through a tertiary education. Of course, this number changes from country to country. Approximately only 7% in South Africa will see to a tertiary education. But nevertheless, today we are faced with some of the biggest challenges the human race has ever seen. A global pandemic, to name one, with a mutation faster than science can keep up, global warming and a carbon offset rising faster than we can reduce, and a fractured global political landscape. Our future depends on a minority of educated people to solve some of the biggest problems. We depend on you all here today, every single one of you, to collaborate to solve some of the biggest problems on Earth through small but great steps. Maybe even a simple machine learning forecast algorithm, just done right. Your journey of 1,000 miles starts with one small step, but make sure you own each step with fabulous shoes. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
Thank you, Christelle, for that wonderful address based on your experiences coming from this place. I think the messages are the importance of relationships, the need to value add, but also I think the significant message about not just continuing to rely on a particular set of skills, always be ready to innovate. So thank you, Christelle, for that.